Welcome to this week's episode of the Niele Ivey Show. I'm Dara Mabrey, filling in for Bob Nagel, here with the Karen and Kevin Keys family head coach, Niele Ivey, presented by TireRack.com. We made it. It's postseason time. It's officially here. So we're really looking forward to going down to Greensboro, but we're taking it a little more of an unconventional approach to this because we're not going to know our Friday opponent until Thursday. So Coach Ivey, how do you prepare for that?
Yeah, first of all, I'm just so grateful that we have a double bye, number one. That kind of goes into all the work we've put in. So I'm going to be really excited about that. I'm going to go back and watch a ton of film and watch the areas that we need to improve on us. So I'm going to try to fix us a little bit. That might be defensive rotations. That might be executing offensively. And then, again, try to prepare for what we could see. So a lot of zone offense. I'll try to throw in a lot of things that we've seen all season. I'll probably focus on the ones that I think that we need a little bit more work with.
I'm looking forward to the practices that week. When we come back, we're going to dive into postseason tournaments. You are listening to the Niele Ivey Show, presented by TireRack.com. Welcome back to the Niele Ivey Show. March is a spectacular time and a month that any basketball player and coach and fan looks forward to. So what are you looking forward to most about March this year?
Yeah, just, again, the energy of the month. March Madness, I think that's everyone tries to play their best basketball. I'm praying that we're continuing to trend in the right way. Excited to be playing, excited for our conference tournament, and to see what happens after that.
Speaking of excitement, one of our most exciting players has been going a little bit back and forth with limited minutes. Talk about Lauren Ebo and just how impactful she is, even if she can only go out there for 3 minutes and then come take a break.
Yeah, I think impactful is a great word to describe her. Her presence, her dominance inside, her voice, her leadership, everything. And she's one of the best posts in the country. Easy double-double. and she does so much for our team. And again, like you said, even if it's 2-3 minutes, she makes an impact. So excited to have her back.
Yeah. We love you, Ebo. Very well said. Coming back to the Niele Ivey Show, we are going to talk about the ACC and NCAA tournaments. You are listening to the Niele Ivey Show, presented by TireRack.com.
Hey y'all, today we're going to be catching up with Ben Dismuke, otherwise known as Valenci. He's our creative video producer from Louisiana and started late summer after working at the University of Arkansas. So, Ben, there are a lot of jobs in sports media, so kind of walk me through your day-to-day on a non-game day.
Kind of just depends. If we just played, typically working through with Meg, trying to figure out who played well. Kind of seeing what is the storyline that we can create from the game. If you have a double-double, how do we make sure that everybody knows that Kylie had a double-double? While also trying to make sure that we get out something from the game. Coach Ivey typically gives something good pregame. If not, we just kind of exit out and just keep rolling with it. But that's kind of a typical day-to-day on if it's a day that we didn't play. Honestly, just trying to figure out what is something that we can kind of capitalize on. We are one of the better teams in the country, so if there's a way that the last few games we've been playing really well defensively, let's say we have 30 steals over the last 5 games, finding clips of those steals and just putting that together, just something that always keeps people I think my job is partially how do I keep people talking about what we're doing? I feel everybody sees who's playing well for us, and even friends at other schools often text me oh, y'all are tough. I done seen this video for this girl and this video from that girl. And the unique thing is it's not always just one person. From game to game, it's somebody else that's stepping up. So that's a typical day to day.
Yeah. I've had so many people come up to me and be your videos are so tough, that you guys post on your social media. I'm yeah, Ben, he's okay at what he does, I guess, but not to gas him or anything.
Crazy.
All right, when you film a game and are going through all the clips afterwards, how do you kind of decide what's worthy of being in a video instead of not being in it?
Well, I think right now it's a little interesting. I think early on you had quite a few athletes on award watch list, and so definitely want to kind of keep them at the forefront of obviously Liv and Maddie, Tony, they were all on lists and trying to push that. As of now, obviously I think it's just Liv, but still recognizing that we still have really amazing athletes. So it's Liv is gonna do what Liv does, but how can I push Kylie? How can I push Maddie? How can I push Ebo to also be in that same predicament? Because at times I often look at it as they're just as good. Liv, that's just Liv, she's gonna get hers. So I think a lot of it is just how to whenever I figure out what the video is gonna be, okay, like how also within this, like I noticed Kylie had, 20 points. Like, how can I make sure that people know that like Kylie was a big reason that this win happened? And then honestly, another piece of it is y'all are like a really high energy team, especially after N1s. So like just trying to get that in there. Like I want, like when I make a video, I think I want people to feel how I felt when I filmed the game. A lot of times like I'm geeked. Like I'm really glad that we don't put like the audio from the, cause like at times like it'd be an N1 and like I'm yelling N1 behind the camera. So I think just like showing the energy and just showing what this team really is, cause it's more than just like they're just another good team. Like it's a lot involved in all that. Like it's a lot of love there. And I think at all times I want people to see like what we feel on the inside.
Yeah, how many clips do you usually have to go through though? Because I can only imagine.
It kind of depends. Like if it's a bigger game, it's obviously a lot more. I guess I would say like Pitt might have been like right at 200, but like Louisville might have been like closer to 300. And it honestly just kind of depends on like what I'm trying to do with it. Like some games you can kind of tell that the game is in hand early on, and it's like, all right, well, who's playing well? Because I know I'm going to make a video for them, so I'm shooting like a lot of like quick stuff of just like them. Like I'm gonna think against Louisville, like I started getting clips of you just like running up the court. Like it had nothing to do with the actual play itself, but it was just like, how can I get something quick to kind of cut into when I'm making this video? So
you see the vision?
Yeah, it just kind of, it just depends on the game. Like if it's a bigger game, it's definitely a lot more though.
Mm-hmm. When do you think a clip needs commentary from TV or radio versus kind of just letting it speak for itself?
Oh, that's a good one. I think it's just all situational. And I think also like part of it is like how fast you want to get it out. Like Liv's buzzer beater like would have been cool to have, like the night of had been cool to have the radio call, absolutely. But timing wise, that takes a little bit more time. And it's like, you want to capitalize on the moment as it's happening. So like, I think that's a major part of it. And then truthfully, sometimes it's like, what is that gonna add to the video? Like sometimes that's not gonna really gain you anything like at all. So it's like, I don't need it. And then honestly, sometimes we be having rough commentators. So I'm like,
Yeah.
you could have 8 straight and they didn't say nothing about neither one of your baskets. So it's like, I really don't have nothing to work with there. So I mean, I think it's obviously a lot of different pieces that's involved in that. But I think the biggest one is just like, if the time allows it, I typically want to. But I mean, obviously, just how some of the games have went, you really don't have time to do it. So you're just like, yo, forget it. Like,
yeah, I was saying, that's also so much more work, I feel like, for you to go back and what did they say here? And did they talk about this? So what made you want to work in women's sports?
Okay, so I've worked in athletics for a little bit now. I worked in it in my undergrad at Arkansas as well. And I think the one thing that I really noticed was like, while women's teams can be better or just as good as a men's team, they never receive the same love. Like I was at Arkansas and they had amazing teams, but I felt like that we would it was almost like a disservice to, the women's team. And so I remember when this job came open, I think I told Coach Ivey the first day I ever met her was like, yo, I came here to work with women's basketball. And it's because this is like one of the most historic programs in the country. But also I think that you all have a unique story every year, no matter what the record shows. I think that everybody is curious to know what Notre Dame is doing, no matter what. Like everybody's like, what's going on over there? Like what's happening over there? And I think for me, like those stories oftentimes get looked over. And like for me, like y'all are just as important as any men's team of any sort of football team, a basketball team in the country. Like y'all are just as big. So I don't know, like for me, like that's like one of the things I'm like, nah, like I want the girls to feel as loved as every male team has always felt. And then also, women are a lot nicer than men in the sense that they will say the words thank you.
Or nice to you.
Y'all are not nice to me. But just in general, like y'all will say thank you for something versus like where males, they just kind of like they deserve that.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, like y'all may not know it, but that stuff goes a long way for people like me of just like hearing the word thank you. I'm like, yo, y'all just said that for real? Like that's kind of cool.
What the heck? No, but we really appreciate you, and yeah, all the compliments that we get from your videos are insane.
It's all love.
Yeah, and you get to hang out with us all the time, which is a blessing in itself. You're welcome. You don't even need to answer that. Anyway, moving on to some quick questions.
Word.
If you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
My major, I was supposed to be a teacher, so I don't think I would have been a good teacher though. So honestly, I feel like I would be working in sports in some capacity, probably like marketing or something like that. I just love sports, so and even with this, like I just knew I wanted to work in sports. I just happened to end up with a camera in my head. Yeah. So.
I mean, you're kind of good at what you do, but again, don't take my compliments to heart. So what's your favorite video you've ever made? It could be like of all time or it could be here.
My favorite one probably is here. It's probably honestly like the Louisville video.
That one was so tough.
Like, you know, just like it was a good vibe to it.
So tough.
I mean, you know, it was a game that we went down 9 a few times. Like it was just like a lot of adversity that we had to fight through to win that game. And then honestly, anytime that like I can like get in the huddle and get coach talking, like that's it. Like, that's it for me.
And she gave a good speech in that one too. Did. I was like, oh, it's so hard.
She was turned.
It was so hard. What's your favorite sport outside of basketball?
Honestly, probably track and field. And I think I love track and field because of like, it's another one of those sports that people don't really talk about track. I was at a school that was like really, really good at track, and at another one that, you know, on the one of the distant sides here that it's a really talented program. And like, I don't know, like I think there's a lot of stories to be told within those programs that again, that people just will never hear about. And it's like to be able to kind of bring a light to them. And then track, more so than like a women's basketball team at least, they are like, you're here, we're happy. Like you ain't even gotta make nothing. Like the fact that there's a camera here and like, I don't know, there's just something about like being appreciated for what you do, like that just makes you feel good on the inside.
What's your favorite meal?
That's crazy. That's a crazy question.
What's your favorite meal? Or you could say your favorite restaurant or something.
I don't eat.
You don't eat? No. You don't eat food?
Hey, I don't eat.
Okay. All right. So since Ben doesn't want to answer that question because he doesn't eat food apparently to survive.
I don't eat, yo.
What's your favorite thing about Notre Dame?
I talked about this the other day. It's like whenever like we hit like the first media timeout in the game, and like y'all done blitz the team, and it's just like they already know it's over.
Yeah.
Like seeing like the defeat on everybody's faces, y'all be weak. I'm like,
oh my
that's
God,
crazy.
Yeah.
But about Notre Dame itself, I mean, it's just historic. Like the school itself, that was a big reason I came here. It's one of the biggest brands in sports in general. And I don't know, like it's like in a really remote place. And like at first it was like, yo, but now it's like, it's kind of cool. Like you can kind of just like lay low.
Yeah, it's definitely different than a lot of places. It is. Very different in its own respect. But, all right. Well, thank you so much for talking to me, Ben. Yeah, okay. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. And yeah, go Irish.
Hey guys, it's KK Bransford here. Follow me on a vlog of our travel day to Louisville. We just got done with practice, so now it's time to shower and get ready for our flight. Hey, we're here, post-practice rehab. We have Nat here. We're going to get food upstairs. Nat, what do you think is going to be the meal for post-practice?
I'm going to say Panera. I feel like we get that a lot.
Okay. Okay, we're up here for pregame meal, and our pregame meal is Chipotle. This is probably one of my favorite meals, so I'm super excited. Just got out of the shower, got my Chipotle, my travel suit on, and we're on our way to the bus and off to our flight. Okay, we're here on the plane, about to take off. We have.
Hi.
What do you like to do on the plane?
I usually like to annoy Evo and cook, but I sometimes listen to music.
All right, Olivia Miles. Hey, what do you like to do on the plane?
I usually either sleep or listen to music.
Okay, Lauren Evo. Hey, what do you like to do on the plane?
I like to listen to music or talk to my teammates or read.
Okay. And me, I like to usually sleep. Sleep on the plane. There's Kylie being annoying. So we're here on the bus. Maddie, Westbelt, what is your favorite part of away games?
Sleeping in hotel beds.
Alrighty.
Welcome back to the Niele Ivey Show, presented by TireRack.com. I'm Dara Mabrey, and next, let's look ahead into this year's NCAA tournament. Coach Ivey, we, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, could potentially host 2 home games here in South Bend. Talk about what that would mean to you, given all your history here at Notre Dame.
First of all, that would mean so much to me. It's one of my many goals for this program and this group is to be able to host. And we were very close last year, having to go on the road. I thought it helped us just with the experience. Being able to beat Oklahoma on Oklahoma's floor was very, very huge for the program. And the way that you played was one of the most dynamic performances I've ever seen. So having that opportunity this year, potentially to host, it's going to mean everything to me. For the fans, our fans are incredible. You can just see so much excitement brewing for this community and for Notre Dame, and their support for our program is just unbelievable. So to be able to bring, potentially 2 games back home is going to mean everything.
Agreed. Thank you, Irish fans. We look forward to seeing you in the NCAA tournament. That's all for this week. I'm Dara Mabrey, and you are listening to the Niele Ivey Show, presented by TireRack.com. As always, go Irish.